Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Church of Harrisburg. Welcome to everyone here in person and everyone joining us online, both now and in the future. I am Cory Ness, and I go by the pronouns she, her, hers.
I'm Reverend Bran Lennox, and I go by the pronouns they, them, theirs.
And I'm Rima Cameron. I go by the pronouns she, her, hers. And together, we are happy that you're here on this chilly morning to celebrate in this service. Thank you.
This past Thursday happened to be the observation of one of my favorite Jewish cultural traditions, the holiday Tu BiShvat, the Jewish New Year of the Trees. Modern-day Jewish people who are dedicated to justice and equality for everyone like to honor Tu BiShvat as an environmentalist holiday, celebrating their connection with nature. Among these folks, there is an idea that anywhere you are on earth, the ground beneath your feet is holy ground. There is a belief that treating the earth as sacred and taking care of it should come first, instead of prioritizing things like money and borders. On Tu BiShvat, we are reminded by our relationship with trees to take care of the environment. Inspired by this, in my household, we've been spending time talking about these amazing arboreal beings. This has brought up many special memories and feelings for me, and I suspect many of you have your own stories too. If you are in person here today, when you arrived, you may have been handed 3 index cards and a writing implement. And if you don't have them yet, raise your hand for us so that we can make sure that they come to you. Wonderful. Another housekeeping moment is to remind us that we are a disability-inclusive community. And some folks within our congregation have Tourette's, and if they need to tick, then we open our arms to that and take a deep breath together. We have chosen to bring ourselves here to this sanctuary to gather across generations as a community of faith. We join together in solidarity as a covenanted people who are drawn together by the promise of connection and the mysterious pull of the unanswerable. We draw on experiences of love and of wonder to lift our hearts and move us beyond the mundane. As seekers, wanderers, appreciators of nature, and creators of connection, our paths have converged today so that we might become present to the spirit that is worship, and so let us worship together. Each week, it is our tradition to light a chalice, which casts a circle of light to hold us all. And this week, we are also lighting a second candle in honor of the life of UCH member Kate Quimby. Kate passed away Tuesday morning, surrounded by her family. She is remembered lovingly by many in this congregation, and we hold her daughter and son-in-law, Kendra and Peter Trufanestock, in our hearts. As we light these flames of community and our shared faith, let's reflect on these words from Kate McPhee. Around us, light is returning. It rekindles the spirit of life in the skeletons of trees. It brings forth new shoots from the soil. It wakes us from our winter slumber and invites us to see what lies beyond. We light this chalice in the spirit of our Earth's awakening and to reaffirm our commitment to the value of our home. Let's rise together.
For
When we gather in community, it's important to remind ourselves and each other of why we are here and what we've agreed to try together. Here at UCH, we've decided our goals and are to encourage each other, to equip each other with what we need to succeed, and to empower each other to do good things. We renew this promise by reading our covenant together. Please join me. Love is the spirit of this congregation, and service is our gift. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Each week, we take up an offering where we ask each other to share money to support the church. We also use half of this money to help a charity, which is doing important work to improve the world. This month, we are sharing our Susquehanna Harbor Safe Haven. Susquehanna Harbor Safe Haven is a facility which offers help and a place to stay for men who have been homeless for a long time. It offers a program to help people stay housed in the future. In just a moment, when Chris starts playing, the greeters will start passing the plates around. You can put cash or checks in the plate when it comes by. You can also donate online using the QR code on the back of the Order of Service. Everyone's support is important to this church. Please consider what you are donating, what you are able.
We dedicate these gifts to the work of this congregation, weaving a tapestry of compassion and action, faith and fellowship, hope and wholeness.
Before I share our craft activity, I invite you to think of yourself like a tree, strong, resilient, and deeply rooted. Every tree has roots, a trunk, and leaves or needles that express its life. We humans are similar, connected to our communities and beliefs and values, which shape how we show up in the world. Our roots dig deep into the soil of our communities and ancestors, anchoring us and providing strength and nourishment. In the roots, you will find the qualities of support you've received from your family of origin, or a chosen family, your church family, that give you resilience and strength. The trunk represents our core values and beliefs. Just like a tree's trunk grows and strengthens over time, this part of us expands us. It expands how we learn and grow. You will find our Unitarian UU values on the trunk. That project we'll be doing a little bit later, so Amy, you're welcome to. Thank you. And as a reminder, for our values, you can think of the acronym JET-PIG. So we have, and if you remember these, you can say it with me: justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, generosity, and at the very center of the trunk, love. Very good, thank you. And the leaves and branches represent how we express our roots and trunk to the world. So for our kiddos today, we have a three-dimensional art project. And what you're going to do is decorate the tree. But before you put the stickers on the heart tree, it was just a coincidence I was able to find heart trees this time of year. I want you to think of your values or a quality or a virtue that you might add. What do each of your stickers represent? For example, they might represent strength, compassion, kindness. What are you placing on your tree? And kids, you're welcome to share those ideas with your parents after the service.
The 9 wise hazel trees stood over a sacred pool of water at the mouth of the river. As the seasons turned, some of their hazelnuts fell into the water, and the migrating salmon ate them. Each nut a salmon ate created a spot on the fish's back and imbued it with a special knowledge. The warrior, Finn McCool, caught one of these salmon of knowledge and feasted on it, and it passed its blessing on to him. For the rest of his life, the warrior had a special insight, which led him to victory. This is one of the oldest stories honoring trees in Celtic mythology, and it shows a deep type of reverence or loving respect. The source of human knowledge is the wisdom of the hazel trees. Of the small amount of reliable information that we have about ancient Celtic civilizations, we do have around 400 surviving inscriptions in the Old Irish alphabet. The name we call that alphabet today is spelled O-G-H-A-M and pronounced Ogham. Can you say that with me? Ogham. Each letter of the Ogham alphabet is connected to a type of tree: birch, rowan, alder, willow, ash, thorn, oak, holly, apple, vine, broom, elder, pine, heath, aspen, and yew. Celtic folk stories are peppered with loving references to trees. They are the source and symbol of knowledge and understanding for humankind. Far from being the most important species, we are alongside the other animals as lesser beings to the tree's power. I'm about to ask a question for everyone, and now is the time to grab one of your index cards. You can write your thoughts anonymously, and if you like, I'll collect them at the end of the service to create a little display for us. And folks online, feel free to type your answers in the chat. The question is, does your religion or culture have any special beliefs about trees? And we have a slide with that question as well.
We were asked last minute to do this, so forgive us if we make any mistakes. I want to go downwards I wanna be ground. I am a wildflower reaching for the sun. I want to be fed on. I wanna break down. My roots go down, down into the earth. I wanna be all gone. I wanna be food. I am a pine tree on a mountainside. I wanna be walked on. My roots go down, down into the earth. I wanna be soil. I wanna be soil. I wanna be sound. I am an ancient redwood tree. I wanna hold secrets that can never be found. My roots go down. My roots go down, down into the earth. My roots go down, down into the earth. My roots go down, down into the earth. My roots go down. I wanna be soil. I want to be sound. I am an ancient redwood tree. I want to hold secrets that'll never be found. My roots go down, down into the earth. I want to be soil. Live upside down. I am a mountain, strong and still. It would never get lonely. With everyone round. I wanna go downwards. I wanna go downwards. I wanna be ground. I wanna be ground. I wanna be soil. I wanna be soil. I wanna be sound. Our roots go down. Well, it would never be silent. I would never be found. Never, never be a question. I rise with the voice of every living thing that I want to go down. That I want to go down. That I want to be ground.
Does anyone know what this is? Yes, it is an orange and not a banana, that's true. Oh. What would happen if I tried to bite into it right now just the way that it is? It wouldn't be very good. And there's something that I need to do before I eat this. Can I get a volunteer, maybe a young person, to show me what I have to do in order to eat this orange? Or a young at heart person, anybody? What do I have to do to eat this orange? Yes, you have to indent it and then take the peel off. Why do you think oranges have peels? You can keep that. Why do oranges have peels? To protect them, that's exactly right. The orange, with its tough exterior and soft interior, can remind us of both protection and vulnerability. The earth is very strong and gives us shelter, but it can still suffer a lot of damage. So the next time you eat an orange, try to remember how the earth protects us and how we need to protect the earth in return. What fruit is in here? That's right. Even though an olive isn't as sweet, it's still a fruit that grows on trees. That's heavy. And if an olive is whole instead of prepared like these are, and you bite into it, what happens? You have no idea. Yeah, Yvonne got it. You chip your tooth on a pit. There's a pit in the middle, and you have to be careful and avoid the pit or take it out first before you eat it. So why do olives have pits? To grow new olive trees. Yes, they're the seeds of the olive tree. And those olive pits are very tough so that the seeds can get into the ground safely. And the edible part of the olive is there to surround the seeds and give them a nice fertile place to start growing. So in the springtime, we take off our winter coats and we start feeling the sun on our skin again. We might also put those things we've been using to cushion our hearts away from each other and begin to feel connection and love again. Because even after those outer layers come off, we still have our inner selves, and our core selves are tough, just like olive pits. And when we're planted somewhere safe, where all our needs are met, that inner self is what sprouts and grows with creativity and imagination. The next time you eat an olive or any other fruit with a pit, try to remember your strong center and the creativity within you. All right, here's one more. Any idea what's in this bowl? It's a little hard to see. They're figs. Yes, that's exactly right. Figs also grow on trees. If I wanted to eat one of those figs, would I have to peel it first? No. If I bite into it, would I have to worry about there being a pit inside? No. A fig is edible all the way through. With a fig, I'm free to eat it with no tough exterior or hard interior. That feeling of freedom invites a softening, a relaxation. We can take a deep, easy breath with that feeling. When we have the capacity to live in the world without our tough shells or hard centers, we can take in so much more of the goodness of creation. The next time you eat a fig or any other soft fruit, try to remember what it feels like to be soft and open. Try committing yourself to find places where you can be a little more vulnerable and a little more willing to be present with the world around you. I'm going to share a prayer now titled On Sweet Fruit and Deep Mysteries from the first ever Tu BiShvat Seder. It was written in the 17th century by an unknown author and translated by Rabbi David Seidenberg. Will you join me now in the spirit of reflection? O one who makes, forms, creates, and emanates the highest worlds, you made the trees and grasses grow from the ground in the shape and pattern of these highest worlds. And this full moon is the beginning of your work to renew and ripen the fruit trees, to bring forth the fruit of the tree of life in the midst of the garden. May it be your will that our eating and blessing and meditating on these fruits will strengthen the flow of love and blessing over the trees, to make them grow and bloom for good life and for peace. May all creation return to its original strength, and may we see the rainbow rejoicing in its colors. And may all the sparks of divine energy, whether scattered by our hands or by the hands of our ancestors, or by the error of the first human against the fruit of the tree, be returned and included in the majestic might of the tree of life. Amen. Roots of yon oak, her sap doth run in my veins. Boundless my soul, like the open sky, where the stars forever have lain. Where the stars, where the stars, where the stars forever have lain. My hands hold the weavings of time without end. My sight as deep as the sea. Beating my heart sounds the measure of old, that of love's eternity. That of love, that of love, that of love's eternity. I feel the tides as they answer the moon, rushing on a far distant sand. Ringing my song is the wind of my breast, and my love grows over the land. My love, and my love, and my love grows over the land. My foot carries days of the old into new. Our dreaming shows us the way. Wondrous our faith settles deep near, rising green to bring a new day. Rising green, rising green, rising green to bring a new day.
The Leaves by Georgia Sasson. We unfurl, we grow much more quickly than any of you. Daily, dawn to dusk, we create life. We feed our homes, the trees, so that they grow tall, much taller than any of you. We create life out of air and water and light. We require much less than any of you. And when the time comes, in the autumn, we do the thing you do not know how to do. We let go.
Many people had a hand in raising me during my childhood, but perhaps the most remarkable was a Norway maple tree. She lived in the front yard of the house I grew up in. We had several good trees, but this one was mine. Many of my early memories, especially of those hours spent without other human company, are of quality time with that tree. She held me gently as I climbed through her branches. She spoke to me in whispers and rustles and feelings and scents. I hid safely in her canopy. I knew the flavor of chlorophyll in her leaves. I scraped the skin of my belly on her bark as I adventured up to new heights, and felt peace as I saw the sunlight play through her shifting shadows. Much of my behavior as a young kid was considered very strange by the adults around me, and they were certainly perplexed to observe me spending hours at a time perched in this maple tree with the side of my face pressed to the trunk, singing strange songs over and over again. When asked about it, I recall adopting a very serious tone as I explained that I had promised to teach the tree, my tree, how to sing, and then I would say nothing more about it. I can't remember the conversations with the maple tree in a way that I could explain in English, because they were something else, but I remember the feeling that I had, and being certain beyond question that teaching the tree to sing was something I was doing as a form of reciprocity, which means returning a kindness, because the maple tree was always teaching me things. As I grew into a preteen, I took hundreds of photos of this tree. Most of them are snow-covered, taken in the deep of winter when the tree slept and I missed her. While reflecting on these memories, my curiosity was piqued, and I went searching on Google Street View. The maple tree is still there, in front of the house I grew up in. There's a little swing hanging from her low branches now, so she has another child to care for. In the past decade, someone has planted 3 companion trees around her, and they're growing up straight and strong. My chest filled with warmth, seeing these photos, the way it would seeing the face of an old friend. I was raised by a Norway maple tree, and because of that, I have experienced love in a way that can't be described. You can take out your second index card now or type in the chat once again. And here's the question. Have you ever had a special tree in your life? Where? What kind of tree was it? All young children know that trees can talk. This is obvious to us when we're little. We know this until someone tells us trees can't talk. And then most of us go about our lives convinced that what we've been told is true. Of course, trees can't talk. Until once again, we learn that trees can talk. A book written by the German forest scientist Peter Wolleben revealed the enchanting idea that trees are far more conscious than we used to believe. Trees communicate with each other about all sorts of things: danger, water levels, pollination, seasons, using airborne chemical signals. They are community beings who teach young trees near them the techniques of healthy survival. Trees planted alone do not know how to conserve water or fight pests. Their roots contain nervous system type structures that intentionally seek out water and nutrients and bond with each other under the soil. In forests, networks of fungus also carry signals, sometimes for miles, through crowds of trees. Trees have been on Earth for about 67 times as long as humankind's oldest ancestors, and 1,300 times as long as the first actual humans. I tend to believe that trees will be around long after humans disappear, but that's more of a feeling than any kind of a fact. What I'm getting at is that trees have always been part of the human consciousness. They're in our spiritual DNA. Of course, children know that trees can talk. So here's a third and final question for your thoughts. What is something that you knew was true when you were younger until someone told you that it was impossible?
And now we have an additional activity for all of us to engage. Throughout the story, thank you, Amy. Throughout the story I'm about to share with you, and for the rest of the service, you are invited to place your thumbprint in an ink pad and place it on the tree to my left. This tree is a symbol of our community. By placing your thumbprint on the tree to represent a leaf, you will see that it takes many, many leaves to create this much beloved community. A community where we can support each other in times of strife and celebrate with love in times of joy. But before you do, I want you to think about what qualities and gifts might you offer to our community when you are at your best. These might include encouragement, creativity, kindness, joy, whatever you consistently try to give. And now I invite you to feel forward to come forward anytime during the church service or after the service and add your thumbprint to our tree. You are also invited to write next to the thumbprint what quality or life came to your mind. Now let's begin our story. Our story today is The Searcher and the Old Tree, and it's by David McPhail. After a long night's search for food, the searcher heads home. It has been a fruitful trip, and his belly is full. Dawn is near, and so is home. It is time for the searcher to sleep. He climbs up Old Tree's sturdy trunk. He follows his tail around in circles and collapses in a heap on an old tree's familiar branches. He closes his eyes and goes to sleep. While the searcher sleeps, the wind starts to blow. It whips the waves. The wind blows harder. The waves slam against the shore. Boom! The ground shakes. The wind rips through the old tree's branches. The waves continue to pound, surge, and crash. Smash! The searcher sleeps on. The wind is howling furiously now. Old Tree is bent nearly to the ground. The waves rise and curl. The wind and waves increase in ferocity throughout the day. The wind tries to pull Old Tree out by its roots, but it can't. The wind shrieks. The waves explode. Old Tree holds firm. The searcher sleeps on. Then, toward evening, the wind and waves relent. The wind calms down, the waves retreat. The searcher's stomach rumbles. He opens his eyes, sits up, and stretches. He slides down to the ground and heads toward the familiar path. Suddenly, he stops. Something is different. The grass is wet and covered with leaves. Broken branches lie scattered about. The searcher looks up. Old trees' branches wave slightly in the breeze. The searcher watches quietly and then waves back. Old tree will be waiting for him when he returns.
We can continue placing our fingerprints, as Cory said, throughout the rest of the service, and even after the service is over. Be sure to come take a look. We were having brunch in New York City. Most of my friends there have lived their whole lives in the city and tend to think of Central Park as more than enough nature, thank you. One of my friends, bless her, asked, "But what do we need trees for anyway?" And she was only half joking. As often happens to me, this question made me consider the concept for the first time. I explained to her that aside from that whole carbon exchange thing where trees help put oxygen back into the air, trees also prevent erosion. Erosion is when running water and rain wash the soil away from the ground. They are the reason why we have land and not just bare rocks everywhere. Their roots hold the dirt in place. And all this time later, while I'm thinking about trees again, in a world where many things are undeniably falling apart and washing away, I am so often trying to hold us all together. And I want to feel rootedness and help others feel it too. And I come back to this image of tree roots preventing the land from sliding off into the sea. There's a type of teamwork there. The roots hold the tree up, nourish it, and stabilize it. And the tree and the earth hold each other close in a sturdy embrace. I see people do the same when we connect with each other. By reaching down and in to receive nourishment, we are also giving support. When we follow the examples of trees, taking care of ourselves and asking for what we need stops sounding selfish and instead becomes a beautiful type of teamwork. Happy New Year of the trees. And may we all find that delicious stretch feeling as we reach our roots down and our branches high. Let's rise once more and join in singing. Please remain standing to receive the benediction. And after the benediction, I'm going to stand down here, and if you'd like to bring me your index cards, I will happily collect them from you. These words are from John Muir. The clearest way into the universe is through a forest wilderness.